Was good. Welcome back to another episode of the Goldblooded podcast, episode 20. We officially hit the 20 episode mark. And it's not gonna be a fun episode, I'm gonna be honest. It's gonna be a very a lot of criticism, a lot of critiquing, a lot of poor judgment through the week of basketball. The Warriors go 0-3 and are currently on a 4-game losing streak. They lost their last 4 games. They're currently sitting at 12-7, 4th seed in the Western Conference, only like 2 games back from like 10, I believe. Yeah, it just has not been a good last couple of weeks for the Warriors. Yeah, and we'll get into everything. We'll get into why they're losing, what's going on in between these games, who to hear from, all the good stuff. But make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on post notifications to be notified when we upload, as well as today is going to be very I'm gonna try my best not to get mad, but I always say this and end up getting mad. So today should be fun. Before we get into anything, Gifted Denver, man, how are we doing this tragic week that we just had?
Better, man. I've kind of been decimated by the sickness bug. My throat has been in peril for like a week now. I missed the game last night, unfortunately, but we have a lot to address with the team. I actually have specific stats and data to pull from before we get into our breakdown. Before the recording, KB said he wanted this to be a 30-minute pod, but I feel like he's gonna crash out, so it's gonna probably be an hour 30. We'll see what it is, but let's talk about it, man. Mike.
Denver, what's up, man?
I'm good. I just for those of you that don't know, I literally just randomly I don't know, got sick yesterday.
Yeah, everyone's been getting
I don't even know like what it was. I think it was because like I took my antidepressant without eating anything.
Tough.
I that would be the only thing. Like it wasn't even like, I don't know. It was just annoying because it was like, dog, like really today of all days.
I love how the Goldblooded kind of didn't tweet anything at all yesterday.
Hey man,
Like,
they were all sick.
Well, for one, Denver was sick, and 2, I was not gonna be clipping.
We weren't even sure if we were gonna stream.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. And on top of that, there was nothing clippable from that game at all. Like nothing to like be like, oh, let's go. Like no, there was nothing. There was like maybe like a little and one, a little 3, like a lot nice little shift momentum, but like nothing really clippable. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely do need to start posting more crash outs on Twitter because people love to see that. But we'll talk about the Twitter later, man. We need to get into these games.
Unfortunate day yesterday, man.
Yeah.
Shout out my mom for having all weather floor mats in her car, by the way.
Shout out to moms. You could have clipped me slamming your desk. Yeah, that's true. I didn't slam, I punched it. But it was
you punched your desk, okay.
I'm not gonna lie, Gifted, yesterday, you
I'm gonna watch
you don't understand. Like, I was watching the game and I'm like, bro, the defense is just awful. And then in the second half, it like flipped. Like the defense became really good. They weren't running the right sets, and then just it kept like having like brain farts like over and over again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we went from we'll get into it, man. We'll get into it. But like I said, man, let's get into some of these games. We'll start off with the first game of the week. We played the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, real quick, before you want to get into that, do you want to hear? I have a 5-game sample size numbers for the team. If you want to hear that real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so per NBA.com, in the last 5 overall Warriors games, our offensive rating is a 108.4. Our defensive rating is a 113.9. And our net rating is a minus 5.5. We can now get into 3 of the games that are, played a big role in our numbers being like that.
Yeah, massive role, actually.
108 offensive rating. Wow.
Yeah, with a team that wants to get up a ton of 3s. Anyways, so in this particular game, chat, the Warriors lose to the Brooklyn Nets, and funny enough, I actually predicted that we would lose to these guys. I had a weird feeling, and I was right. But I thought we were capable of beating OKC and the Suns, but I was also wrong in that aspect. But the Warriors lose 128 to 120. For some reason, I don't have my cameras like that. Sorry.
Because of a 41-point fourth quarter.
Yeah, a 41-point quarter from the Brooklyn Nets. And I'm not going to sit here and be
Without
like,
Cam
oh,
Thomas.
the Brooklyn Nets are a bad team and whatnot. Yes, they're not the best of teams, but they have a pretty good offense. But we have a pretty good defense, and we should have been able to withstand some of the runs that they were able to produce. Now, I will say the shot making in this game from the Brooklyn Nets was outstanding. I felt like the Warriors were actually pretty good on their rotations, especially in the fourth. They just couldn't, they just kept making shots. And it's the NBA sometimes. Teams will just get into games, especially the Brooklyn Nets who've been playing really well. They will just start making threes. They'll be able to knock down their tough looks. I remember specifically a corner three that was damn near smothered that went in. And you just got to tip your hat. But the reason why I believe we cannot do that is because of what led up to that very moment. And we'll discuss it right now. So the Warriors had a biggest lead, I believe, of 18 in this game. And the 18-point lead got flipped. It was like I want to say a 28 to like 30-point turnaround where the Brooklyn Nets were as up as high as double digits. And what the turning point was in this game was in that third quarter specifically. And I want Denver and Gifted to really discuss this part because I feel like for me, this was what the turning point really was. And you can even more so say some parts of the second quarter, especially with Moses Moody, but we'll definitely get into this. Denver Gifted, man. What do you guys think of this game in particular?
Disappointing. For me personally, that's got to be the biggest word to describe this. This is I'm pretty sure this is coming off of the Spurs loss, and it's like, yo, bad loss for the Spurs. Can we beat Brooklyn? And it's crazy because for a minute we were up pretty good in the game. Steph goes out, and we're like, all right, well, we just gotta overall try to manage these minutes. And he comes back, and it's like, oh, we did not manage this at all. Bad offensive pace, no Cam Thomas in the fourth quarter. Cam Johnson also was away from the game. Tyrese Martin was cooking us. Like that was the thing that was happening. I just think the process was very misguided, and it reminded me a lot of last year, where it's like, why are we having Steph out for that long in a game that's super winnable if he plays just a little bit more?
We've been losing a lot of these games this season in particular. Like Cam Johnson took 3 shots, he played 14 minutes, and we still found a way to lose because we gave up 31 to Dennis Schroeder, 19 to Zaire Williams, 18 to Jalen Wilson. Like it's just, it seems like we're so focused on like one player coming into the games that we just forget about everybody else.
Yep.
And that's a theme that we'll see in the other 2 games.
I 100% agree. I want to go back a quarter into the second quarter because Moses Moody in this game was actually fantastic. And if you could see clearly, he played 16 minutes in this game. Now you're thinking, well, 16 minutes, that's a solid amount of minutes if distributed properly. Just to put into context, 16 of those minutes, 12 were played in these in the first half. He played an astounding 4 minutes in the second half of this game, where, in my opinion, he was one of the Warriors' best player, if not the best player of that first half, especially in that second quarter, because he's the one who actually helped us get that early lead in the first half.
Majority of those stats he got in a 3-minute span.
Yeah, legitimately. So, and he was playing good defense, in my opinion. I thought he was playing pretty well. Now, the discussion with Moses Moody to me is like a bit weird because when he does have his bad games, I see a lot of Warrior fans go, this is why Steve doesn't play him, yada, yada, yada. And I could understand it because he does have his mistakes, and we'll get into those mistakes in the later games as well. But my problem is that even when he's playing well, he still doesn't get the opportunity to be able to consistently be able to perform because of his minutes. So even when
what was his reward for playing that well? I'm just curious.
4 minutes in the second half, that was his reward. Pat Spencer taking your minutes. It's become comical at this point because usually right now I'd get angry, yell, and scream, but I've learned at this point it's just the way it is. Moses Moody can't get any consistency. You paid him $39 million over the next 3 years, and for some reason he's not even an actual legitimate member of the rotation. GP2 is still continuously closing out games when that's not been suffice for you in this year, like whatsoever. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but when you're closing games with GP2, you could obviously see some issues there. Again, it was just like really horrible coaching mistakes from Steve Kerr. I felt like this game, the offense was actually like solid enough to be able to help you get to that point. But the main part of this game for me though was the biggest difference was that second quarter where you're up, Moody doesn't play in the second half, and Steph playing like I believe 29 minutes,
29 minutes.
which is absurd. I'm gonna be honest, absurd. And I'll actually
He
bring this up.
There was a tweet. It's crazy because like now we're getting all of like the troll accounts tweeting about Steph's rotations this year. I think this one was from either from Brick Central or Brick Center or it's like someone else where they screenshotted the score when Steph went out compared to when he went back in, and we were up by like 11.
9.
Yeah, we
We're
were
up
up
by
by
9.
9
Yeah.
with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter when Steph went out, and then he subs back in with 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and we're down by 4. And so, yeah, man.
So in
Crazy.
the Warriors' last 10 games, the Warriors are a plus 15 net rating when Steph is on the floor, and they are a minus 15 when Steph is off the floor. I'm pretty sure that's like in terms of like what it is best and worst. I think that's like best in the league versus worst in the league. I could be wrong in the last 10. So playing your best player under 31 minutes where he is clearly the best player on the floor for your team, it's just not feasible. Respectively, it's just not. And again, I'm gonna try my best not to get angry because me even saying this stuff gets me upset. Because I never thought I would actually have to ask for Steve Kerr to play your best player more minutes, which is like it doesn't even sound right, right? But to go back to this game really quickly, I really want to talk about that third quarter because we kind of skimmed over it a little bit. We're up 9, like Denver said, with like a few minutes left to go in the third quarter, right? And Steph gets taken out at the 4-minute 30 mark, somewhere around there. So basically, the second half of that third quarter, he's not really playing, which is like, okay, you have a little bit of a cushion, but they're making a run. Let's see if your bench can do something, which they've been relatively producing at a solid clip. I can see where Steve Kerr is coming from. I disagree because I think they're making a run. You need your starters to kind of just push this lead back to like maybe 13, then bring your bench in so that way they can be a little bit more comfortable. But you sub out everyone, which I don't agree with, but I can see why you did it. And you bring on your bench. And your bench immediately does worse than your starters, immediately from the moment they come in. And you see Brooklyn just chipping at the lead. 3 turnover, 2, 3 turnover, 2. It's just it's going and it continuously keeps going in the cycle. And you don't sub Steph in until the 7-minute and 30-second mark in the fourth quarter. Mind you, he didn't play for damn near the entirety of the last 5 minutes of the third quarter. And you didn't sub him in until almost the last half of the fourth quarter, which again is not feasible at all. Now, if we had a legitimate secondary, which we will also talk about later, maybe I could understand that. But when you don't have a number 2 and I understand the worry about making sure that Steph is okay and that he's healthy. This isn't feasible. Playing your best player under 30 minutes just isn't feasible. I'm sorry. This is just not a winning formula whatsoever. And I never thought in a million years I would ask a head coach of an NBA professional basketball team to play their best player more than 29 minutes. That is just ridiculous.
We're playing him like we have a second option.
Exactly. That's my problem. That's exactly what we're doing, Denver. We're playing him like we have a Zach LaVine, like we have a Brandon Ingram, like we have a Lauri Markkanen, like we even have like a Jimmy Butler. It doesn't even matter. Like we even have a Jordan Poole. It doesn't even literally matter who the second option is.
I mean, they think we do have one of those players, though.
And we'll get into that too as well.
They think we have like 3.
Yeah, according to this team, we're 13-man deep, right? So even though one of them is out, and ever since that one player has been out, it's been downhill from there. But we'll talk about that later on in the pod as well. There's a lot to get into, like I said. But just to go back to the scoreboard really quickly, it was just ridiculous. And then from there, you let one of the best offenses in the NBA, one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the NBA, a team in which they move the ball well, being able to penetrate, drive, and kick and produce some quality looks. They got to see if you go down. You didn't manage your time well, and then you proceed to lose the entire game because of a Brooklyn Nets offensive masterclass in the fourth quarter. Shout out to the Nets. I think they played really well. I thought the defense for the Warriors in the fourth quarter was solid, but when you let a good a good shooting team see a few go down and they have that knack to be able to make tough shots, you just got to tip your hats. And you let that happen because you blew an 18-point lead and you closed the game with GP2 and Brandon Pajemski, which, just to add salt to the wound here, they played horrible that entire game, 1-4. 1-4. The entirety of that game, they played horrible. And the fact that you closed it with them over the guy who gave you 15 in the first half goes to show, to me, there's more of an agenda happening here. Because if there was actually fair judgment with Steve Kerr, there is no way in his right mind one of the best players in your first half only plays 4 minutes in the second half.
It's strange because we kept hearing like the reasoning of like, oh, they're not playing him so that they don't have to pay him as much. Well, I mean, it made sense. It made sense, but now they've already paid him, and it's just, they're still doing it. So it's just like it doesn't really make sense anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't, man. I don't know. This is to me, this is one of these losses that's just a really bad head scratcher, and we to lose this game and then to lose to the Spurs as well, which we talked about, I'm pretty sure, last week. It's just bad. Like, you could have came out of like these last 4 being 2-2 and having like 14 wins and like 5 losses would have put you at a much better position. At least you stayed afloat. But like the games in which you dropped, like it's bad. It's really, really bad. But let's get into the second game, because this second game I'm a bit more lenient, but at the same time it's one of those games where it's like
We're
you just
still
got
at we're still at the top of the division. Oh my god. Our division sucks this year.
Yeah, because the Lakers aren't playing well. The Suns had their downfall. The Clippers obviously are worse than us, and then the Kings have, which have been playing well too.
Yeah,
haven't been playing well neither. My thing, I don't even care about the division part. We're just dropping games in this conference where we should have been like staying afloat.
Yeah.
We should have been right now like 14-5. OKC plays the Thunder today. I mean, OKC plays Houston today, and OKC could beat them. And we could have still been chilling around like 3 and like been like staying afloat, but there were still problems. But you're handling your business because you're not dropping the easy ones. But to get into OKC here, we lost this game too. Obviously, like I said, 0-3 for the week, 105-101. In a fashion where I believe like this was a scheduled loss. Now, the reason why I say this is because Steph went out with a bilateral knee injury, which we also need to discuss as well, because he said something pretty interesting after the Suns game. I don't know if you guys got his comment about like being asked about the injury and stuff, but yeah, man, Gifted, talk to you, bro. I know you've been quiet for a little bit. Obviously, you're under the weather here, but let me know what your thoughts are, man. Because this one was also another game where it was like, yeah, don't Steph, but you got the job almost done to the point where you just need to get it done. So let me know what you think, man.
Can you scroll down?
Yeah, sure.
Now, listen. I want you to put the mouse on Draymond. All right, now go down.
You want me to click on his name?
No. Go to Draymond and then go down one player.
Oh, so him.
Go down another player.
God damn, he took 21 shots.
Another player. One more trip. There we are. 30 minutes played. 4 for 10 from the field. 12 points. 5 assists. 2 turnovers. -6 plus minus.
8 rebounds.
The plus minus is no longer saving B pods. Okay. I really want to highlight the 1 for 4 because he is reaching a point where we're happy that he's shooting the ball at all. But the fact that he gets them up and doesn't make them is hurting us a lot. Mr. Passman is hurting this team mainly because this team is fake deep. Look at how many players we played that didn't really do shit. Also, shout out to Buddy Hield. But he's been Klay Thompson from last year. That's cool. That's really cool. But what do we have consistently on a night-to-night basis that makes this team like dangerous or real? Do you know how much shot creation we're lacking? But people say, trade for Cam Johnson. Trade for another role player. Hey, man. Very underwhelming. And this is a game where in the fourth quarter, I remember these possessions on God word for word. Shea is throwing up bullshit and bricking the entire fourth quarter, and we can't get not one bucket. Can't get not one bucket.
We went 5 minutes in the fourth quarter without hitting a shot. Meanwhile, Shea, you can go back up real quick. Meanwhile, Shea is in the midst of taking the most threes that he's ever taken in a game, which is not, well, actually, damn, they changed it to 12. It was 13 when it was live, but he tied for his most 3-point attempts in a game. And I believe it was like 6 in the fourth quarter alone. He never does that.
And he was bricking every single step back three. I kept saying that's not in his bag, that's not in his kit. And it wasn't. But the one he did make was over B-Pods, ironically. Just saying. Man.
No J-Dub to finish the game. No Chet just coming into the game.
They did have Isaiah Hartenstein back, though, to be fair.
Yeah. He had a monster game.
Yeah, Hartenstein, he did.
Yeah,
bro. Listen. I don't care how many points he had. That floater felt like 15 points because he was making that from ridiculously far, bro. It was nuts. So
it was truly nuts, man. But to talk about this game a little bit more, man. First of all, I'm really annoyed at this loss too, because again, you could just chalk this up to no Steph. If Steph even plays 15 minutes in this game, it probably looks a lot different.
Hold on, let me pull up the layup numbers. Hold on.
Like I was saying,
my bad.
No, you're good. Like I was saying, like if we were to just have Steph for 15 minutes, 13 minutes, maybe the outcome of this game probably ends up a little bit different because you have your best player. But again, to me, that's not really an excuse. They didn't have Chet, they didn't have J-Dub. 2 of their 3 best players weren't there. I understand they're still a superior team in terms of talent, in terms of connectivity, defensively, even offensive execution. They're playing better, but you have to get the job done, especially in the fashion in which you came back. Now in this game,
and that too, I'm pretty sure we did pretty well in terms of turnovers too.
Yeah, we only had I think we had 14, something like that. We didn't have a crazy amount of turnovers to where it was like, okay, you turned over the ball way too much. You gave up too many possessions. No, you didn't. I really think in this game, the first half of this game, the problem was you couldn't contain the ball, which again, when you rely a lot about perimeter defense to make up for the fact that you don't have a rim protector, that's when it becomes too much of a reliance. When you have a legitimate 5 who's able to block shots, I'm not saying Trace can't block shots, but like he's just a smaller 5. It's really hard to be able to contain the ball and deny shots at the rim, especially with a team that has the best driver in the NBA in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, right? Like it's not feasible. Again, I'm gonna keep saying this. Just some things on this team just are not feasible. Yes, is it nice to have players to be able to switch and to be able to guard the ball for sure, but when they're getting beat and there's no safety net, a shot blocker, it becomes much more difficult to be able to get and hone in on stops. That's why in the first half they were just blitzing us from the jump. We were getting beat off the dribble. There was no back line, easy layups for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, in the second half, I will say the defense cleaned up a lot. Would you guys not agree?
No, but like that's my problem, right? Like I watch these games, and honestly, like I get that there's moments where our defense looks bad, but they've shown consistently that they can turn on their defense. The offense is like that's what be killing me. Like if we could just get 3 possessions of basket making where it's not a bad turnover, it's not a bullshit shot that was basically generated off of like pass. Like if we had someone that could consistently bend the defense that's not Steph for at least 3 possessions, we win this game. It feels like the offense has been more of the problem in 2 of these back-to-back games.
No, to be honest, you could also say 3 because you could really also say 3. Not even just 3, the Spurs game as well. You could really point out to a lot of games where the offensive issue was just insane. Now,
especially the Clippers losses.
Shout out to Denver.
Especially those games.
We're pulling this up. You had 29 layup attempts. You had double the amount of layup attempts.
38.9.
Converting them at a 13 to 29 clip on layups is ridiculous. And I vividly remember Jonathan Kuminga blowing layups, TJD blowing layups, Draymond, Wiggins. I remember Wiggins' layup at the end of the game. Even we'll talk about that too. The fact that it's insane to me, chat. These last two games, the Warriors have been able to rally and come up with these situations where they can get themselves back into a game very quickly, right? And it's a very impressive. And they did that in the OKC game where they cut the lead down to, I'm pretty sure, as low as like 2. And they called the timeout with about 8 seconds left, 7.7 to be exact. Draymond Green got the ball in the corner, and it was a very awkward catch. And I think he was being doubled. Wiggins cut baseline, and he had an open layup.
It was a fantastic play, by the way.
It was a fantastic play.
Lou Dort and I think iHeart as well, and another OKC player were collapsing on Wiggins. But for some reason, Wiggins' brain thought, oh, there's only like 2 to 1 second left. Let me just throw this shit up because I'm off balance. He could have literally caught the ball, brought it down, and even went back out to the 3, something. He could have done anything else to just try to get a better look. But he just threw some shit up for no reason. And again, it's goes back to what Gifted said. The offensive execution, the offensive juice, the ability to be able to consistently score the basketball is a problem. And when I look at this team, Denver Gifted, and to the people watching in chat, I see a lot of 3rd and 4th options being used as seconds. Wiggins is not a second option, respectfully. He could have as high as playing as a second, but his median is that 3rd to 4th option. That's where he's at right now. 15 to 18 points, very good defender, can help you with rebounding the ball, can hit a catch and shoot 3 off the rotation. He'll be one of those guys where he's actually at his max in terms of where the team's at in terms of everybody else. He could give you that. The B-Pods.
Man, Lindy Waters is starting.
Lindy Waters in any other situation in the NBA is a probably like 11th to 14th man, and he's starting. Not. Don't get me wrong. Lindy Waters, he's solid. He can shoot coming off the pick.
Yeah.
His defense is shaky, to be fair, but he's a very good shooter, and he has some good intangibles about him. But
yeah, exactly. He was a bench warrior. We got him for literally a 2nd round pick, I'm pretty sure.
And like, I don't want to hate too much on him because of that, but like, there have been so many moments where it's like he shows, and I know people. So Gifty, he's 24. He's a young player. I don't care what y'all telling me. He has not played in the NBA for a multitude of seasons.
27.
Okay. Like. like I'm getting tight because I'm watching him play and he played like a young player. Is it true or false? Does he not have bad turnovers at times?
No, he for sure does because he doesn't really get to play that much. So yeah, I hear you on that for sure. And again, the expectation of asking him to be the starting 2 next to Steph is just ridiculous because he can shoot the ball.
It's asking a lot.
He's not a Clay. He's not someone who's an elite movement shooter that can really knock down a lot of tough shots for you and bail you out. Like that's just not what he is. He's not a Jordan Poole. He's not someone to be able to play off ball, but then allow Steph to play off ball and actually be the focal point for the offense and run that pick and roll and run a lot of the motion. He's not that neither. He's not even like a B-Pods in terms of some of the connectivity stuff. And I don't even like B-Pods' game right now. Or not even at all. I'm not going to lie. But just to go back to the point, like I said, there's just a lot of 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th options on this team. And it's cool for the depth part. But when you don't have that legitimate 2 next to the 1, it doesn't look right. You just see a 1 with a bunch of role players who are all trying to play at their ceiling, and that's not going to be consistent because asking a role player to be more consistent than your star players is just insane. It's just insanity to me, respectfully. And these are some of the missed layups here. Like those are all makes. Those all should be makes. You make 50% of your layups this game, you actually probably come out with a win.
Or, because this has also been a trend in our last 5 games, make the free throws.
Yes.
Or make the free throws.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in this game too we lost.
I think we were good on free throws this game. What the?
Were we? Hold on. Let's go.
This game, I don't think free throws is bad, but I'm saying overall.
We were 15 for 21. We're not too bad. But leaving 6 free throws still at the line is crazy. Like, I'm not. That's still crazy.
I guess in comparison to what I've been seeing.
Yeah.
Like, leaving 6 points at the line, you lost by 4. You make your free throws, you win this game. Like, there's too many, like, make do the simple thing and you win this game for us to like be dropping games. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Agreed
It's
on
just
that.
it's very annoying. But to go back to the game and just to wrap things up to the next one.
My bad.
No, you're good. You're good. It's becoming a constant issue, and I feel like I guarantee you guys probably feel like this too. Y'all feel like broken records, bro.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we're repeating the same thing over and over again, and it's just like, how does the front office not see this, or are they just being stubborn, or do they believe that some of these young guys are actually going to make the leap? Because you don't want to get into a situation where it's too late. Right now, I already feel like it's too late because last year was the most optimal time for you to be able to go get a second option. B-Pods came off of a good year. Kaminga had a good year. So there was CP3's contract was also there. Clay was leaving as well. And you even had Wiggins' contract that you even tried to move, and that was more palatable too. Knowing that he has been playing
you
basketball.
had multiple options during the offseason.
You did. Now your options are lessened. Laurie's locked down for a certain amount of money. Jimmy, obviously, somebody I don't want, but he's going to be harder to get. Zach LaVine is on the market, but he's going to be hard to get because of his money. Who else? Brandon Ingram was someone that I think the Warriors had their eye on and you can't get. Paul George is obviously locked down in Philly. Like, it's become really apparent now that the Warriors are making too many late decisions. Because even if we think about this now, guys, and we go into February where we want to make a trade, who do we trade for and how do we get the money for it? Because the Warriors were so hell-bent on making sure that the money was flexible. The question was, who are you making the money flexible for? Who?
I just want to point some things out real quick because like we were saying these things when we only had 2 losses, and they were like, "Oh, you're overreacting." They just had two small losses. Like this is not new what we're talking about, and I think if we're being reasonable about who's actually available and gettable for this team, it's a very limited crop, right? You can say Brandon Ingram, because I think the Pelicans are currently projecting to be the worst team in the league. Last time I checked, they were like 5 games away from the 12 seed or some shit like that. I forget exactly what it is. They've been losing a lot of games, right? So that's a guy, but I doubt they want to go for him. Zach LaVine is a funny name because they could have got Zach LaVine with Chris Paul's contract, but they didn't want him because of the contract.
For literally only Chris Paul's contract.
Yeah, so like I feel a way if they trade for Zach LaVine now at a higher price when they didn't want him, when they could have got him for a cheaper price. So I'm not sure how feasible that is. And then like outside of those 2 names, what other guys are there? Because Lloyd Marketing's locked up this year, so we can't get him. I don't know.
Who's an old player in the league just right now? Hold on.
Old player.
Jimmy Butler?
Oh, him, but he made buku money.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be him.
That's jump scare money. I ain't gonna lie. But listen,
that definitely is jump scare money. Yes,
bro. I'm not gonna lie, man. I feel like I could continue to sound like a broken record, and I want to take this screen share off real quick before we get to the next game.
Yeah.
Again, to Warriors fans, to myself, even you got to come to the realization. And for me, even I believe in some factors for this team. I believe that some of these role players can play the roles that they're playing. Like Buddy Hield, his shooting that he provides. I think that's good for the team. I think the defense, I'm 100% bought into that. I'm not really denying that we can't defend at a high level. It's been an emphasis this season that we were clearly relying on our defense to be able to get more stops to try to score more, right? Our offense isn't the point of emphasis right now at the very moment. But my problem is when your offense is so bad to the point where you cannot get enough like looks to be able to generate and score the ball, you can't keep relying on stops because it's the NBA. Teams are going to score. Your defense isn't generational enough for you to produce an offense at this rate, which is really, really poor. I think we have one of the worst offenses in the league in the last 5 games, according to what Gifted said earlier. I believe it was a 106 or something like that.
Let me check that.
But again, it just goes back to the principle. What do you want to do and how do you want to do it going forward? Do you want to buy into only defense and then we want to play only defense and we want Steph to do the rest?
So we're 23rd in offense in the last.
So a bottom 10 offense in the NBA.
Yeah. The only teams worse than us are the Lakers, Kings, T-Wolves, Blazers, Hornets, Pels, and Wizards.
Yeah, that's nasty. I'm not gonna lie. The Lakers are down there.
Yeah.
Oh damn, I ain't even. We in the same boat always, bro. Shit crazy. Or like it's like when we're doing well, they're
Like,
doing well. We're
dog,
playing bad, we're
get
playing bad.
away from us,
That shit's
please.
hilarious, dog. I'm not gonna lie. But to go back to what I was saying originally, you have to address these points. You have to, because there's no like gifted Denver. There's no other way for us to be able to make that next step. You clearly see there's the pieces that you have. There's obviously Steph, who we're gonna speak about. There's obviously you have Draymond, who's been fantastic this year as a defender. I think he's still been one of the best defenders in the NBA, even with this entire slump. I think Wiggins' take his resurgence year serious. He's been playing a lot better. I think Kevon Looney's looked a lot better. Your core guys have been looking very, very good. They've been showing you extreme consistency and promise. Kevon Looney's been playing so good that I wouldn't even mind him going back to being a starter again because he's actually been finishing his shots. He just sets better screens and he knows the offense better than Kevon than TJD. TJD obviously provides the
Also
athleticism.
moving. It
Yeah.
also seems to be moving better this year.
He
than
does.
last year.
He definitely does. Now maybe it's because he's off the bench and it's limited, so that's why it looks better. But who knows? But he's just been playing really well for us. Every time he's on the floor, I feel very comfortable, especially with him and Steph, because his screen setting is irreplaceable in my opinion. But this won't take you far. The highest I see, the highest possible chance I could see is like a top 4 seed and a second round exit with this team. That's the best possibility. There is no way in hell, and I'll be happy if I'm wrong because I'm a fan of this team, but there's no way in hell this is a finals contending or a championship contending team as currently constructed. Currently constructed. I genuinely believe we're one piece away. Like we are, in my opinion, like a Zach LaVine away. A Zach LaVine away is what the night and day difference for this Warriors team could be. Literally. And I'm not saying he's the only player that could change for this team. Even someone as low as like bringing back Jordan Poole, which I guess for a lot of Warriors fans, maybe they don't want to do. For some, they want to do. That would even benefit the ceiling because you have another legitimate scorer. Is it someone that you want to like really rely on consistently? I'm going to leave that answer to you guys. Everyone has their different opinions about it. But you need that legit number 2 scorer. It's clear as day. It's clear as day. But let's get into this third game, man. Let's get into this third game because this game to me is just ridiculous. And I feel like there's a lot of talking points that we need to discuss. The Warriors in their last game played the Suns, KD versus Steph, supposed to be Draymond versus Nurkic, but Nurkic ducked the fade, you know what I'm saying? Because he's a bitch.
Which actually kind of helped them because he sucks. So
yeah, he does. And if he played, it would have been drop coverage. So actually, no. Mason
and also
oh my god.
And also I think even just Mason Plumlee being down there is a bigger interior presence than Nurkic at this point.
Mason Plumlee today got to play drop and we'd even let Steph cook off of that shit, man. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Steph, like I don't know what the hell. He looked like he didn't even
he looked like he didn't want to be on the floor.
Yeah, not only that, it didn't even look like he could move. Like it was so strange. Like there were shots where he was literally like barely jumping.
That one floater, I know exactly what you're talking about. There was a floater in particular at the free throw line where he legitimately did not jump. Like it looked like he couldn't move. I don't know neither. I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea. But just to go back to the game in particular, the Warriors lost by 8 points. Yeah, it was very hectic. Gifted wasn't there, unfortunately, to watch. He was under the weather. I'm assuming you watched some of the highlights though and got to catch yourself up a little bit. Denver and I were watching the game. Denver was also a little bit under the weather, but he was good enough to be able to watch it. Shout out to you. But yeah, it was just like, again, same thing. Suns come out. The Warriors and Suns actually to open the quarter were playing both pretty good offense. Like everyone was hitting their shots. It was looking like it was going to be a very high scoring game from both teams. And in the second quarter, the Suns just turned it up another level offensively. And it's not even like for me, I could complain about the defense, I could complain about the rotations, but the Suns just played some elite offense. The ball movement was really good. Most of the shots they were finding themselves taking were wide open, like very wide open. and they were just
Yeah,
lacing
they
their
were
threes.
finding Grayson Allen
Like on
wide
practice
open.
3 looks. Like it was crazy. They shot 14 of 21 in the first half on threes. They had 66 of their 113 in the first half. So it was looking like the Suns were about to blow us open. I ain't gonna lie. That's what it was looking like. Bro, you know, okay. you know what I mean, right?
Oh no,
Bro,
I got you, bro. I got you.
of
Yeah,
course you did. But like,
I don't know
bro,
what you mean by that.
at the end of the day,
Hmm.
it goes back to the same thing again. Starting off well, and I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna see if chat really knows, and if my guys over here really know. What is the number one, like? What is the number one point for the Warriors to be able to start well? What is that for you guys?
Like start games well.
Yeah, or at least to get their offense consistently going. What starts that?
Actually,
Steph,
scoring in transition would be one of them.
Steph pick and roll.
Yeah, that too.
At least some. It doesn't have to be every play, but at least some.
Somebody said it. Somebody said it. Shout out to Denver. Steph pick and roll. Now, in this game in particular, it was really like a flashback for me. Now, you may ask yourself, KB, why the fuck was this game a flashback for you? This was a horrible watch from an offensive perspective. You may be right. But to start this game, Mason Plumlee started at the 5, right? They ran Mike Budenholzer ran drop on Steph Curry. And I'm not talking about like he's at like the free throw line, closer to the 3-point line. He's showing a little bit. It's kind of like a high drop where like he'll start high, but then drop his way back. No. Mason Plumlee was legitimately, I'm not even joking, legitimately at the like not inside the key, like on some Enes Kanter 2019 deep drop, right? And for me, when I saw the first play, and obviously the first play is never for Steph for some reason, and I seen it, I'm like, guys, TJD's in drop. I don't know if you guys, I mean, Mason Plumlee's in drop. I don't know if you know this, but like, get the ball to Steph, set a high ball screen. Steph get downhill and start firing threes. Even if Steph went 0 for 6 on pull-up threes in that first quarter, I would still be comfortable knowing at the fact that shot's going to be there because Mason Plumlee is going to get minutes. But the Gifted, I'm gonna ask you this question: do you think the Warriors did the logical thing and ran the high pick and roll for Steph to be able to do it in the first quarter? Do you think they did that?
Hell no.
They didn't. They didn't. You
Hell
even
no.
have to. You know for a fact when it comes to logic and being
He's
able
with
to,
us.
like he is with anyone but the Warriors, and by he I mean Steve, respectfully. And it's Steph's first game back, and when we watched the game, Gifted, I know you weren't fully there. Steph did not look 100%. I'll be honest, he didn't. Movements were very bad. Like even off ball, like you know how usually when Steph like drives and like he gives up the ball and passes,
Yeah.
and more often than not he's coming off of another screen or just running. Yep. Bro, he stopped. Like when he passed the ball, he just went to the corner. Like it was like he legit did not want to move. And
most of the buckets came in the second half when I watched it.
Yeah, he was scoreless in the first half.
Yeah.
But
he had 2 points at halftime.
All free throws. He didn't make a field goal. But yeah, it was just a horrible game. B-Pods actually came out. Funny enough, B-Pods came out in the first quarter aggressive. He actually hit 2 threes in the first quarter, and he had like 8 in the first quarter. It was crazy. I thought that was going to be the game where B-Pods just randomly scores 30. You know what I
mean? Wait. I'm sorry. Say that again.
B-Pods had 8 in the first half? In the first quarter.
Listen, man. They call me a hater, bro, but did he finish with like 14?
Yeah. You know, it's progress though. You know, it's a season high for the year, 14 points. You know, just,
you know what? He's gonna be the thumbnail, by the way.
Oh, for sure, he's gonna be the thumbnail every week.
Oh no, I got a thumbnail finish. I'm gonna send it to you right now.
Oh,
I've been making it right now today.
Bet.
I'm gonna send that to you right now.
Nah, people are seeing the pod within the pod right now, bro. This is crazy. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Just to get back to this game, like it was one of those games. The second half, just to talk more basketball here, the second half of that game was much better from the Warriors in terms of defense. Like immediately from the third quarter, we went on like a 10-0 run where the lead was 17. We cut it to like as low as 7. We were playing really good basketball. They were playing a lot. They were getting a lot of stops, getting in transition and getting baskets. And they were really locking up on defense. And I was impressed because they were showing some sign of fight. But then there were just moments where, like, you know how we gave credit to Kyle Anderson for having those like back-breaking moments where a team would make a run. But Kyle Anderson would like be able to get that stop and just keep it at bay. There were just those moments there. The one moment in particular was like in transition off a turnover, and it was a transition 3 for Devin Booker that like pushed the league back up 11.
I know exactly what they're talking about. The one where he caught it and then Wiggins jumped at it and
he flew by. He threw him a pump fake. He flew by and hit a 3. Like it's plays like that where it's like, yeah, the lead is only 11, but those are backbreakers because you were really making momentum. They got to stop. The crowd gets into it. They hit a 3. Crowd's going crazy. The lead's back up to double digits. Now it feels much more tougher to score.
Or the biggest play, which like to me, I didn't watch this live, but Draymond like helping off of KD, telling other people where to be, and KD just catching the ball, put a wide open 3. It's like, why are you helping off of Kevin Durant, Draymond?
Yeah, that was just ridiculous. And then in the fourth quarter, KD kind of took them home. He just took over in that fourth, hitting a bunch of difficult shots. And then to Gifted's point as well, late in the game, we made a few comebacks. We cut it to as low as 4, I believe. And Draymond, bad play at the worst time ever, leaving someone like Kevin Durant wide open, who he was teammates with and should know not to be able to do that. But
and they had momentum a little bit too. Like that was like the dagger play of the game for me personally. He made it. I'm like, yeah, they're not gonna win this game anymore.
Exactly. It was just gonna be very tough to try to overcome that. But
yeah,
a few talking points from that game. One, Steph was asked about his bilateral knee issues because that was the injury, and they were asked about what's it going to be like going forward. Is it something that nags you? And he answered the question. I'll paraphrase. He said, basically, the injury itself is something that will nag you if you don't take care of it properly. And as you get older, more things start to pop up. So you have to be more careful. And that, as like a fan, obviously that you don't like to hear. Steph's my favorite player ever. Hearing an injury from him or something that's nagging him is just really annoying. But again, shout out to Chris for sending the link as well. But again, it's just you don't want to hear these things before I play this video, right? And for me, it's not a good sign for the Warriors because you don't want Steph dealing with it. I've seen what Steph looks like with a nagging injury. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I see what Steph looks like, and that's just not a Steph that you want for the team. And he's already aging too. It's not like he can play through it. He has to manage it properly, right? And it goes back to the same issue. Where are you going to get the secondary from? Everything is just tying back to the same thing. Everything, bro. Everything. But I'm gonna play this video, man. I'm gonna play this video real quick.
No sound. There is no sound, sir.
Oh, man, playback. You gotta fix that little bug, man. Little buggy bug. But sorry, chat. And Chris as well. I was saying it wasn't a concern because that's what they were saying. They were saying that it was a bilateral knee issue, but he's expected to come back. So I'm thinking, okay, it's probably like a tweak, but he more than likely probably needs rest. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. But then when the game started, I was like, Steph does not look 100%, and I was just like, okay, this is a bit weird. But it should be sound now. Let me know if you guys still can't hear it.
How are your knees feeling?
Good.
It felt good tonight. Rough start. I had to play better in the first half. Get myself going. Just kind of testing it out, seeing how they respond with the little break, but it was good all the way through. So when you miss a little bit of, when I was on one game, the juices started flowing in the second half, and hopefully that carries over personally. But we have a lot to figure out as a team.
Is what you're dealing with physically different than in past years? I know.
Yeah. Has a potentially like a nagging type thing if you don't take care of it. And thankfully, Rick has been great trying to give me a protocol to kind of stick with on a day-to-day, knowing that's something I can get ahead of and not, chase throughout the year, which is the plan. So I'm not worried about it, not concerned about it at all. It's just the deeper you get into your career, the more things pop up, and you just gotta, figure it out.
Is that maybe why your minutes I think are like 29 per game right now? Number one, are you okay with that, and is that where they need to be?
What game? What is it?
19, I think.
Might be. It's not a new record. The first 2 weeks was weird since we were a couple blowouts and missed the fourth quarters. There were a couple games where some extended breaks that you understand it's a long season. Every player wants to play more minutes, including myself. I think I can. I know I can, but you try to figure out a way to take advantage of the minutes that you're out there. And our rotations are a little different this year. We only have so many guys. And when you're winning, it's fun. When you're not, questions pop up. That's how the league goes. We have to respond as a team. It's not just about how many minutes I'm playing. It's how do you get everybody in unison on what we're trying to do out there, no matter what the combinations are. So if that means playing more minutes, then you do it.
First topic on kind of the maintenance with the knees. I mean, do you think you'll have to spot rest more games this season?
Not sure. Honestly, I was happy to get through this one playing 30 and not feeling it go the other way. Feeling like I was pretty strong. I got stronger as the game went on, and they responded well. Whether that's a back-to-back here or there or whatever, we'll decide that as we go through. But I'm just trying to control like how I feel and know that it's not a forced decision. It's like a smart decision, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to make possible.
Is one knee worse than the other? You had tape on one and sleep on the other.
I've had that for a while. That's
Okay.
different. That's different. They were both the same.
That's the end of the. He said a few interesting things that I didn't actually catch when I first seen this clip, talking about the minutes and stuff. And one thing I love Steph. Like I said, he's my favorite player ever. But one thing I hate the most about him is how PC he can be sometimes. Like y'all see how like Ant is very blunt with his responses, and that can really sometimes hurt him. But like I wish Steph would come out.
We're front runners.
I really like wish Steph would come out and just say something like along the lines of the rotations need to be cut, or we can't be in games like this and I'll play only 29 minutes. Like
that's one thing that I was like gonna say when he asked are you fine with playing 29 minutes? I'm like, well, why would you waste a question on that? He's not gonna like actually answer that.
Yeah, and it's just bro.
Also, we forgot to cover in the what's it called, the Suns game specifically. We forgot to cover this. Yeah.
What are we shooting on layups as a team? Like, what are we as a team on layups this year?
I don't know.
Like, bro, what the fuck is this, dog? Like, I don't like what? The fact that this is the crazy part. We're actually getting more layup attempts than most teams, which is good. Like, we got a lot of layup attempts against OKC. Okay, that's good. But 9 of 23? Like, bro. What is this, bro? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. Chris, thank you.
Oh, you haven't seen that yet?
No, I haven't. I'm about to look at this right now. Because this looks insane. 1 second. This looks insane. So, layups and free throws, the two easy shots in basketball. Here's how well teams have done so far this season. So, the x-axis, the x-axis is better finishing on layups, and the y is better free throw shooting. The Warriors are literally in the bottom left corner. So that means you can't get any worse than these niggas. Literally. That's literally what it means.
On the easiest shots in the sport.
We are currently shooting 63.4% at the rim. That would rank 20th in the NBA.
Like, bro, are we dead ass?
And sidebar, this isn't.
Are we above 70% on free throws yet?
Probably not.
Probably not. We are also the 30th ranked team in the NBA on shots outside of 14 feet inside the 3-point arc, at 30.4% on those shots.
So the in between games.
Oh wait, we are 70% right now. We're still last.
Oh, okay.
By over 3%.
Jesus Christ, bro.
So the in between game still sucks. Okay. Yeah, man. I don't know.
Yeah, we're the worst free throwing team in the league, and we're 20th in layups. All right.
Hey, man, we love adversity, right?
And the worst part is speaking of adversity, the adversity is only gonna get more difficult.
Oh yeah, we got Count coming up.
Like
Yeah,
the
man,
adversity
we
is
got
only
this week is gonna be exciting. Let's go.
this week could either. I'm not gonna lie, chat. For me, this is a
We
make it or
It's a
break
make
it
or break
week.
stretch, damn near.
This
Yeah,
not even just this week alone will be make it or break it. That is
it's
it's
gonna be
just that
huge.
it's either the Warriors have an
yeah.
outstanding 4-game winning streak going into next pod, or we're talking about getting Cooper Flag in the draft. That's what it's either one of these things, bro. Respectfully.
Denver,
So-
Houston, Minnesota, Memphis, Minnesota. Boy,
So this is just next week. And then week after that is the cup. So we'll see.
we doing the pod on
one
on Sunday, or do you guys want to do it like after the game?
Nah, 8:30 post game is kind of crazy. I'm not gonna actually. I'll be. Nah, I can't because I have an exam the next day. Yeah, nah, can't do it.
So we just do the ones before that
Yeah,
last game.
we'll cover
Okay,
the
that's
first
fine.
3, and then we'll do Minnesota. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
so this is a cup game, the Nuggets game. And I think that's the last one before like actual like knockout games and shit.
yeah, the Warriors' schedule is tough, man. I don't know what to tell you. Like it's just
Yeah, this is my time. Keep in mind.
yeah. So it's 7. This is just to put in perspective, chat. That means 10 p.m., 10 p.m., 10 p.m., 8:30.
Yeah, we definitely covering that the next week.
Or
Yeah.
or 8 p.m. if you're in Mountain.
Mountain time is only 30 minutes ahead of Pacific,
An
or an
hour.
hour.
So why does Mountain Time exist?
Because of Nikola Jokic. But anyways,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
just to get back into the schedule, man. I don't have to pull it up because it's right here. Denver on Tuesday on TNT, which is a cup game at 10 p.m. Eastern.
We not beat them niggas. Aaron Gordon back that day. Aaron Gordon back, by the way, in that
Hey,
game. Right there.
Aaron Gordon
The-
back.
the losing-
Westbrook's gonna hit 4 threes.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I hear you guys. I understand it, and I could 100% agree. But I do not give a damn. We
I know.
need a win, respectfully. And I'm not finna like sit here and be like schedule loss. This no,
Damn, all that's a schedule loss.
no, nigga.
I see it.
We either get blown out or it's
Yeah.
gonna be a Jokic fadeaway for 3 for the
Oh
game.
Lord, not a fader, man.
Look, but listen, in these next 8 games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, 7 games. I was including the Lakers game on Christmas. In the next 7 games, if the Warriors can go 5-2, I'll be really happy.
5-2. You are
I'll be really happy.
you.
That's one more than 4-3.
Hey man, I hear you.
I'm gonna be honest. This is what I want. Right?
Okay.
And I'm not like I guess this is optimism, but I think it's realistic because of what's going on. Denver, obviously, we haven't been shooting the 3 ball that well, in my opinion. I don't know if Denver really guards the 3 well. To be honest, I'm gonna be honest with you.
He's gonna have to get one off.
And
the way.
another thing is that there's no way in hell we're blowing layups against like Nikola Jokic. I really hope not, because if
It might be the get right game in the paint, maybe.
that might be the get right game in the paint. You know what I'm saying?
You wanna-
also,
you wanna bet?
Kill
I
no.
don't
Ain't
bet.
betting
We
shit
bet
on
we
this
get-
thing.
I ain't gonna lie. Anyways, Houston, I think we should win. Obviously, we haven't lost since 2019, so like we need.
I don't know why, but I feel confident. I feel confident that we
we'll
can
still
beat Houston.
Houston.
just because, like, listen, no
Houston.
matter if this team is a
Houston.
playoff team or not, they want to beat Houston. I'm sorry.
They will be Houston, bro. It's hilarious. But Houston, we should win. Houston's a good team, though. Minnesota's been having their troubles, and I feel like this is the perfect time to play them.
That's why I'm scared to play them, because
You,
We
you
play
don't
them
want them-
every
we
times?
can't. Yeah, we can't hit layups, and we're going up against Gobert, man.
it's that, but it's also like not only are they struggling, but Anthony Edwards is calling his team hoes after every game. So
But
it's
it
like
really hasn't been
on
doing
national TV.
no,
It ha-
KB, I get it, but imagine playing the same team 3 times out of 4, and it's like, oh yeah, we were some hoes yesterday. We play that same team, like, hey man, we gonna see, man.
Oh my god, bro! It's
I
just-
know. Listen, I know. Trust me, I get it.
man. It's really annoying, bro. Because like the worst part is being a fan of a team. You can't do anything physically
shit
to
about
make
it.
you just gotta watch it happen. It could really be either the best thing ever or the worst thing ever, because it can be torture or it could be like a blessing. And for us, it's been a mix of both. But again, I'll be happy if we go above 500. Ideally, I want us to go 5-2. I think the losses that we'll get is one of the Minnesota games and Denver.
To answer your question earlier, KB, the Nuggets are 13th in 3-point defense.
So they're like slightly above average.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're
so they're-
first.
And we gave up 23s to the
Teams on average shoot 32% from 3 against us.
and
That tracks.
the
Or actually,
Suns.
no, my bad. Oh wait,
The Suns and Nets lit us up. I ain't gonna lie, lit us the fuck up, bro. You know what's crazy? If we really had, I'll be honest with you. Now this is really like a stretch. If we had Boston shooting capability, we'd be blowing teams out the water.
If we had 5 guys who could shoot the ball at every position.
if we could,
we would be frying teams.
if we were league average on layups and league average on free throws, we would be like
A good team.
we would be like
I think we would only have like 2
we would
losses.
be like 15-4 right now.
Yeah, we would.
Nah, we would be like 16, 17-2 or something like that. We'd be something crazy. If we had last year Steph, or no, sorry, 2 years ago Steph, we'd be 18-1.
So I got us beating the Rockets. I have us losing to Denver, and I think we split a game between one of the Wolves games.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it for me.
I got us beating. So this week alone, let's just talk about this week.
Yeah.
I have us beating Denver.
Okay. Shout out to you.
I lied.
Couldn't even hold that shit down for real. Couldn't even hold it down.
Bro, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to
He lied immediately.
Bro, I don't know what to expect, bro. I legit don't know what to expect. I don't know. I'm gonna leave that as a neutral. I genuinely don't know. It's either gonna be, and this is what it's gonna be. It's either gonna be now listed as questionable. Bro, it's either gonna
He's
be.
gonna play. KB, just take.
And that's
KB,
also for today.
No, I'm calling this. This is we.
KB, just take the 2-1. Just take the 2-1. Just take it.
This is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm going to do, and I'll give us each of us can have 2 of these. You're allowed only 2 gray areas. So what I mean by gray area is like you don't have a win, you don't have a loss, you don't know what's gonna happen, so you mark that game as a gray area.
That hole is a loss. That ain't no gray area for me. that hole is over.
So I'm using my gray area on this.
Okay.
Game. Houston should be a win. I know Houston's a good team. I'm not saying they can't beat us. I'm saying the Warriors.
It's got nothing to do with how Houston's play. It's just how we match up with them every
Houston.
time we play them. Yeah,
it's Houston. The offense is like it's horrible.
They got good defense though. And to be fair, we did choke a 30-point lead playing them last time, but we still wound up winning. So I'm gonna go. I think that's a W. I do.
So Houston beat and Minnesota at home Friday 10 p.m. win. So right now I'm 2-0 in a gray area. And listen, that's all I'm gonna say. That's me for this week. And Sunday, if you want to include, because it's still in the same week. You know what? I think we beat Minnesota twice. Yeah, be optimistic, bro. Fuck it. We beat Minnesota twice.
Yeah, man. Shout out to bro. Again, I have us beating Houston, and I have us beating Minnesota in the first game. After that, all bets are off.
So we split Minnesota, we lose to Denver.
Yeah,
So
I got us
500.
going 2-1. Yeah,
No, we're 500.
2-1.
It's 4 games, bro. How do you include the 4th game? But
We're not counting the 4th game because we're gonna pop before that. Remember?
No, I know we're not gonna cover, but still in this. It's still this week though.
I'm not covering that shit until the next pod. I'm
DiVincenzo revenge game. We gave that nigga we made that nigga.
I'm not gonna lie, no, dead ass though. I could see a Dante revenge game, no bullshit.
If Ty Jerome
I
did what
could really see that.
Ty Jerome did what he did, then I guess
I could definitely see Dante do it with Ty Jerome.
If Ty Jerome gets to have 30 and hit 30 footers against us, I guess DiVincenzo could turn into Steph for a game.
I ain't gonna lie, Jada is gonna look so confident in that corner shoot the 3 ball.
But chat, now for me, I think I'm agree with Gifted. If we're just doing 3 games this week, I think 2-1. I think we beat Minnesota, we beat Houston. but I'm leaning towards a loss against Denver. It's just because of the fact that yes, Denver's like they have horrible starts, and the Warriors can really be on a really good game and like somehow be up 15. But it's just like no lead is safe with those goat killing niggas, bro. Like the rituals they be doing at halftime is disgusting.
I ain't gonna lie, they go bad for bad with us, man. Like they be
Nah.
sacrificing the same goats, man.
Nah, they
Crazy.
double up. They do like 12, 13.
Double up.
They double up crazy, bro. But that's for me, that's gonna conclude the pod. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already as well. Turn on post notifications. It's been a fun one covering this week.
Pod, yeah.
Hopefully you could catch us next week and talk about the Warriors in a more positive manner. And my last words before I'm gonna send it off to you guys is,
boy, we go 0-3 again. It's gonna be a crash out pod next week. I ain't gonna lie. We go 0-3 again. This motherfucker's gonna be a
I'm gonna
crash
just say
out
this.
I'm
pod.
not gonna lie. If we go from like what were we 12-2 to 10.
Not no cap saying.
I'm gonna be honest. If we go on 3 again, I might not have this set up anymore.
Oh wow.
All right, I might not have the setup anymore. My all of my shit might be gone. But again, chat, I appreciate y'all for pulling up. If you are able to catch and watch these games, make sure to pull up. Link will be in the description. Playback.tv/Goldblooded. Goldblooded on Twitter as well. Make sure to go follow that too. Follow all the social media platforms, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some good content, some solid content. So appreciate y'all. Gifted Denver. Any last words before we end this and send this off?
Yeah. Can we please not go on a reverse belt to ass tour? I'm not trying to get 30 piece by Denver. If the Rockets blitz the shit out of us, I'm gonna be very, very sick to my stomach. Let me tell you something. If Anthony Edwards keeps calling his team some whores and they come back and whore us out, I'm gonna be tight. Listen, at least be competitive in all these games, please.
I feel it, man. Denver, bro, talk to me.
We better not be 12-10. We're back here.
Please, for the love of God, let's not be 12-10. Ideally, if we, if they, what is it, for 14-8, I'll take it. I'll take a 14-8, man. You know what I'm saying? Right now, 12-7, give me 2 wins and 1 loss. I don't really care. But we need to get back to winning basketball. So no excuses. Lock in. I know you play Jokic. He's clearly the MVP favorite right now. But yeah. Anyways, catch y'all boys next week. Have a blessed week. Make sure to tap into us next week and tap into us on Tuesday. We'll be watching Nikola Jokic put the absolute belt to our asses at 10 p.m. Until next time.
Yeah, Jokic trying to sing. Not like us, man. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. We out of here on that one, bro.
All right, bro. Peace, y'all.